As someone who's using this day to day, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it really sucks. So many people out there will die to defend the Google Pixel 10, but is it actually even a really good smartphone like people claim it to be? In today's video, I'm gonna share with you exactly what you can expect when you get the Google Pixel 10. So I've been using the Google Pixel 10 for about 4 months now. Yeah, it's somewhere around 4 months, and this thing does certain things really well, but it also sucks really badly with things it's not good at. Now let me ease you guys into this video. So the first thing that I really found myself liking, and I think you can expect to be really good with this smartphone, is the screen. Now this is a 6.3-inch 120Hz, so it's really smooth, and it's an OLED display. So if you get really close to it, the colors are really sharp and the blacks are absolutely beautiful. Now the brightness also goes up to 3000 nits. So for someone like me who's spending a lot of my time outdoors, I found it really helpful, especially to even take photos outdoors. Like I can actually see what I'm taking, not really a similar case that I'm getting with my iPhones. It usually gets really dim, but I don't have that problem with the Google Pixel 10. Anything I want to do outdoors, I can see the screen really clearly. However, because you're getting a really bright OLED screen, now it's a good screen, but it does take a toll on the battery life in here. Now it's a 4970 milliamp battery, so not even 5000 milliamps in here, and normally with software optimizations and things like that, you'd get really good battery life, especially on Samsung devices and things like that. But on the Google Pixel 10, I'm not really getting the kind of battery life which I expect to get from a sort of flagship device from Google. Now, of course, with the really bright OLED display in here, your battery life is gonna take a really big toll, and I found myself experiencing that, especially when I'm using this smartphone. It does not last me an entire day. Let's just get that out of the way. So there's 4970 milliamps of battery in here. Now, with other brands that have below 5000 milliamps, for example, Apple, Samsung, they seem to have done some sort of optimization to the battery that gives us a really long battery life. But on here, despite not having a processor that's strong enough, despite having not really the best experience in terms of power that you can get in a flagship device smartphone, Google somehow has made the battery suck so bad in here, because I can't get a full day of usage using this. Like, it's gonna die on me right after 3/4 of the day. So I find myself, when I get back home in the evenings, right after work, plugging this in back into the charger. I can't lie down in bed and use my phone, scroll around and things like that without charging it. So battery life, I think for people who are doing lighter tasks, probably social media, texting and things like that, you guys might get a better battery life in here. But for someone like me who's recording a lot, taking a lot of photos, editing my videos on a smartphone, then I found myself to really not be enjoying the battery life in here. The battery life for someone like me, from the Google Pixel 10, especially such a small phone with small battery capacity, it sucks. It really sucks. Yeah, I know all the other reviewers online are telling you that great battery life, Google has optimized it. Well, I'm calling bullshit on it, because, man, as someone who's using this day to day, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it really sucks. Okay, that's too much of shit that I've just threw at the smartphone right away. Let's take a look at the next thing, which is the amazing 48 megapixel main camera sensor from Google. Now, the Pixel series of smartphones from Google is very well known for their camera system, and I do agree, especially when you take a look at the photos that I'm showing you guys here right now. These are all taken with the Google Pixel 10. You normally wouldn't expect Google to have bad quality photos, and it's proven once again. Google takes really good photos. Now, is this comparable to something like the cameras that I shoot photos on, like those really big DSLR cameras, especially even this camera that I'm using to shoot this video? Is it comparable to that? Yes, it's actually very comparable. Now, I'm not going to do a side-by-side comparison, but what I can tell you is the kind of quality of photos you can get from your Google Pixel 10s is probably the best level of pictures you can get in any smartphone today. And that should speak a lot, because a lot of smartphones out there are taking really good photos, but nothing seems to beat the Google Pixel 10 in my opinion. And even for your videos, you can shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second in here. So you really can't ask for anything more. Even for someone like me who's shooting heavy content videos to post on social media, YouTube and things like that, I can actually use video clips that I've shot from the Google Pixel 10. And that says a lot. That says just how good the quality of videos on the Google Pixel 10 actually is. The only smartphone that I believe can beat the Pixel from Google when it comes to videos is the iPhone. No other Android smartphone can come close to this. It's not even close. Okay, that aside, now let's take a look at another thing that really sucks on this smartphone, and that is when it comes to gaming. Now I know Google is not the most reputable company when it comes to performance in their smartphones, but with the Google Pixel 10, they've taken it to another level. Now we are in 2026 right now. This phone came out last year in 2025, but even by 2025 standards, for you to be paying this much for a smartphone, you should be easily getting 120 frames per second gaming at this price point. Unfortunately, Google had other ideas, and they've somehow kept us to getting only 60 frames per second in our games. Now, some games do run up to 90 frames per second, but there's no way a smartphone running 60 or 90 frames per second for games should even cost this much. Now, I blame the Google Tensor G5 chip that they've used in here. It's a really bad chip in my opinion. Now, I don't want to be bashing this phone that much, but if it's the truth and the chip really sucks, why do you put it in here, Google? Like, why not just give us a Snapdragon chip or even a MediaTek Dimensity chip, even something like the 7000 series, like 7300 or something? It's going to give us much better performance than what you have going on here. Now, I know Google say their chips are better when it comes to AI processing and things like that. Fair enough, it helps with that. But when I want raw power for my games, for video editing, I just don't get that. And that's kind of sad because I shoot really good photos on here. Your camera is one of the best. I shoot really good videos on here. No doubt video quality is the best among any Android smartphones. But the moment it comes to editing it, I can't, because it just runs things too slow. The processing is too slow. When I'm trying to export the file, it takes too long. So it gets really annoying. And also when I, like moving around, traveling and things like that, I want to play some games. I don't really enjoy the games using the smartphone. Like, I would just grab my iPhone over here and play games on that, which is sad because I really want to use this the whole day and really enjoy the smartphone the whole day. But I can't do that with the smartphone because in terms of raw performance from the chip that's in here, the Google, the Tensor G5 chip, it's also a really bad chip, and that's something you guys need to take into note. If you're someone who's a gamer and also want to take photos, you're gonna have to compromise with something else because games on here is really bad. Now, before we end this video, there is one thing that I found Google doing really well, and if you take a look at the screen here, that is their Google Gemini. Like, I've never used another smartphone that runs Google Gemini as smooth as Google is doing it here. Samsung comes close, but no other smartphone in the market can even compare to how smooth, how fast. Like, this is the fastest AI experience in any smartphone I have used in a long time. And that's the truth. Only Samsung can compare to this. I'm gonna tell you guys honestly, nothing, not your Vivos, not your Oppos, not any other brand in the market has an AI system, especially Apple. No way. None of them has anything that's comparable to what I'm experiencing with the AI features on the Google Pixel 10. This thing is so fast, so smooth, and it gets everything right all the time. Like, it doesn't mess up. And that's really one thing that I feel like Google is able to destroy their competition at. So if you're someone who's really looking forward to the future of AI and things like that in your smartphone, get the Google Pixel 10. Great photos, great AI features, great screen to watch movies, videos, and things like that. Of course, if you're someone who's gaming, then there's a little bit of compromise because you can only play 60 or 90 frames per second. You can't get the maximum 120 or 144 Hz refresh rate gaming experience that you may want as a gamer. But besides that, if you are able to even carry a power bank around and things like that, a small power bank, or if you're at home most of the time, so the battery life isn't too much of an issue to you, I guess the Google Pixel 10 is a great option. Especially for those of you, now I want to highlight this because I can see who this smartphone appeals to, so I want to share that. And I think the person this smartphone appeals to is for those of you who are trying to shoot really good photos. You prioritize photos more than anything else in the world. Like, photos are the single most important thing from a smartphone for you. I would not recommend the iPhones, the Samsungs, the Vivos and things like that, because the quality of photos that come out of the Google Pixel 10 is just a different level. It's so comparable to your big cameras, but you're getting it in such a small device that when it comes to photos, shooting videos as well, I think if you're not someone who games too much, the Google Pixel 10 is actually made for you. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, you found it really helpful to you guys, please help me subscribe. We're really trying to hit more subscribers so I can get my hands on more products to review on here. Subscribing is the single most important thing that will help me right now, and I appreciate every single one of you who have subscribed to the channel and supported by watching all my videos, liking my videos and things like that. That is the Google Pixel 10, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!